In my view, the Helen Clark government was the best New Zealand government so far this century. The Clark government was far better than the Key and Luxon governments, and considerably better than the Ardern government. Helen Clark is the only Labour leader to lead the party to 3 consecutive victories. She lost her first election as a leader, and therefore serves as proof that a loser can recover their reputation and win massive victories. In 1999 and 2002, she delivered crushing blows to the National Party. In 2005, she defeated Don Brash and held back his pernicious politics. In doing so, she led National to embrace the more moderate politics of John Key. Clark was finally defeated by John Key in 2008, but even then, it was not a crushing defeat. She left a massive power hole in the party, which it took Labour almost a decade to fill. Helen Clark's government was also characterised by Michael Cullen, perhaps the best finance minister the country has ever had. He ran 9 consecutive budgets with a surplus, more than any other finance minister since the Second World War, more than any finance minister in the history of the National Party. Don't let National lecture you about balancing the budget. Cullen's savings created a rainy day fund which helped pull New Zealand through the global financial crisis in relatively good shape. The Clark government introduced a mass of great policies. KiwiSaver, the New Zealand Superannuation Fund, interest-free student loans, civil unions, nationalisation of rail and purchasing of majority ownership of Air New Zealand, longer paid parental leave, higher minimum wages, working for families, time and a half for employees working public holidays, KiwiBank, and a lot more. Of course, the left-wing Alliance Party also contributed to this agenda. Many of these policies were popular enough that National had to promise to keep them in order to get elected. That is always a good sign that you have introduced a good policy. Notably, Helen Clark refused to join the US, UK and Australia in the invasion of Iraq. This decision has aged incredibly well and has gotten Clark much praise. Clark was willing to aggressively attack madness on both the left and the right. She was an exceptionally strong, competent leader, the likes of which we have not seen since. In many ways, Labour has been trying to recreate such a government ever since. I do not want Labour to attempt a recreation of the Helen Clark government. At its core, Helen Clark's government represented competent management of the status quo. Do not repeat the formula. People do not want competent management of what is increasingly a failing status quo. More fundamental changes need to be made. But Helen Clark was the perfect Labour leader for her era, and this should not be forgotten. But times change, and Labour must change too.